God of Thunder by Kiss. This was one of my favorite songs when I was a little kid, and it's got a really cool riff that's pentatonically based. The song also uses some power chords, and it's kind of a scary song. And seeing that it's Halloween month, I thought it'd be quite appropriate to take a look at God of Thunder by Kiss. That's what we're taking a look at today on Ray Plays Guitar, and I'm going to do it as simply and as accurately as possible. Let's get into it. So God of Thunder, the song came out in 1976, I believe. It appeared on their Destroyer album, which was one of my favorite albums. It was produced by Bob Ezrin, and he really made the album with all the sound effects and stuff, all the orchestral elements that he brought to this album. And what he did on this song with all the sound effects and the kids and stuff, it was creepy and spooky, and coupled that with the really cool artwork on the album, this song really made an impression on me as a 8-year-old kid. The album version is in E flat. I tuned to E flat. I thought about just keeping it in standard tuning, but then I figured after you learn this, you're going to want to pop on the song and play along with, and it's going to be in E flat. So just tune up to E flat now, and you'll be good to go. Here's the main riff of the song. It's an E pentatonic, E minor pentatonic. Going to be hitting the open E twice, going to E an octave higher, then going to this note B, which is the same fret, but on the 6th string. Then to the note D, 5th fret of the 5th string. Then we're going to hit that note again and hammer on from 5 to 7 on the 5th string. Now this move from the 7th fret of the 5th string to the same fret on the 6th string, whenever we move from one string to the next adjacent string, this technique comes in handy, where I'm rolling my finger from one string to the next. I kind of pre-plan ahead. I don't use the tip of my finger for this note. I kind of use the pad of my finger, this part of my finger, instead of this part of my finger. So that when I roll up, now I'm using the tip of my finger. So it's like this, and then I just roll up to grab that other note. Also, when you roll up, it automatically releases that 5th string to prevent string hangover. The next part of the riff starts off similarly. We're going to jump back to this open E, to the octave E, to B, D, E, but then throw in G, 5th fret, 4th string, at the end. So here's what we have so far. Next, it starts off the same way we did initially. And then we finish it off with here I'm hitting the 3rd and 4th strings, both on the 5th fret, going back to E here, back to these two notes, then hitting the 3rd and 4th strings on the 7th fret. Then I'm going to bend that up just a half bend. Now I'm grabbing both of these strings with one finger. I could grab them with two different fingers. You can do it that way. If you find that easier, you can do it with these two fingers. You can do it however you want. So here's the whole riff. doing this bend, just be careful not to bend it too much. If you bend it too much, it just sounds bad. If you underbend it, it doesn't sound as bad as if you overbend it. So before the vocals come in, the last time they play it, instead of doing that bit, they just go. Variation of that they play, I hear it's live sometimes, it sounds like they're doing this. Or they kind of chug along that E a little bit more. So they do that riff before they go into the vocals for the first time, and then they do that before going into the chorus. Now, the chorus is a series of power chords. C5, G5, D5, and then E5. Now, I'm playing C5 here, with my first finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. That note is C, giving us our root for this chord C5. G is right here, 3rd fret of the 6th string. D5 is just 2 frets up from C, where we just were, right up here. Oops. There's D5, and D5 is 2 frets below E5. When I come up to this E5, I can play this open E string with it. Gives it a little oomph. Now on the album, I'm hearing them playing an E minor. I don't know if the guitar is doing that. They also have layered like some harpsichord or something going on, some keyboards going on there as well. So it might be that. But if you want to grab an E minor chord, it sounds kind of cool. And you can do that, you playing an E minor bar chord like this. Starting on the 5th string, I have 7, 9, 9, 8, 7. You can also play that with the open 6th string as well. Then after that, it goes back to a C5, then an E5 again, then A5, with a push into a B5, and I'm playing the A5 here, and that leads you right into a C5 up here now. You can also play an A5 in the open position here. So here's A5 open position. You can play it here. That leads you to a B5 here. Leading you right back into the C5. So far in the chorus, we have C5, G5, D5, E minor, C5, E5, A5, B5. That leads you right back into C5 again, and then G5, D5, E minor. Then, we have this little bit where we're going to go, I'm going C, B, C, B, C. That's 3rd fret, this is all on the 5th string. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. That leads me to this power chord, which is a G5, but I'm playing it with my first finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. This note is G here. I'm just doing a power chord here. After that, playing a D5 right here. We're going to creep in on that D5. And do a little crescendo, and that leads us back into the... So here's the whole chorus. So that's basically all the rhythm parts of this song. Let's take a look at the solo. We're going to take a look at the version of the solo that Ace plays on the Kiss Alive 2 album, which seems to be the standard live solo for this song. So the solo of the song starts off with this really slow dinosaur bend. Going kind of between the 4th and the 5th, more like the flatted 5th and the 5th. So I'm starting on the 5th, but I'm kind of bending it a little already. And then going up to the 5th. Sometimes I grab some other strings with it and it gets a little noisy. Hey, that's cool. Then after that, there's the series of these Ace bends. A full bend starting on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. This note D, bending it up to the pitch E. And just going back and forth. After that, we're going to do a series of these Ace moves. We move up to the E minor pentatonic here on the 12th fret, going 12th fret 2nd string, doing a hammer-on pull-off to the 15, then 14 of the 3rd, back to the 12 of the 2nd, then you're going to go back to the 15 of the 2nd and bend it up. Then you're going to go up to the 15 and bend that up and do another series of these Ace wide bends. Bring it down to the 15. Do this Ace move again. We call it the Ace lick? Should we call it You're going to do the Ace lick. Then go up to the 15th fret of the 1st string. Bend that up a full bend. Do those Ace bends again. Then bring it down to the 15, doing the Ace lick. This time, between the 1st and 2nd string. So I'm going between 12 and 15 of the 1st string, hammer and pull off, then 15 of the 2nd string, back to 12 of the 1st string. Then back to the 15th fret of the 2nd string, bending that up a full bend. Bring it back down to 15, doing the Ace lick again. So, wait, I'm confused. Where are we? So, after that last Ace lick, we're going to do some Chuck Berry licks. So this next bit starts on the 14th fret of the 3rd string. We're going to bend that up a full bend, going to the 12th fret of the 2nd string into the 12th fret of the 1st string. Now sometimes I'll just use one finger to bend this up. Sometimes I'll use two. It's a little easier with two, obviously. But the important thing here is when we go to our first finger on the 2nd string here, 12th fret, I position it in a way that when I release this 3rd string, the 3rd string touches the side of my 1st finger and gets muted automatically. Otherwise, sometimes you run the risk of open strings ringing out, and we don't really want that. So my 1st finger is positioned in a way that it's automatically muting that 3rd string when it gets released. Then the next note is on the 1st string, same fret. So I'm already laid flat. All I got to do is roll over, releasing the 2nd string. I don't want that. I want that. those little things will help you get through this little section cleanly. And then you're going to do that again. Coming back to 15 of the second string, then to 12. Then you're going to do this one more time. Then you're going to start to do it. Go to the second string and then come back to 14, 12, 14, 12. So here's that whole Chuck Berry section. Next, we're going to go three bends on the 15th fret of the second string, bringing it back down, 12 of the second string, back to 15, bend up, bring it back down, hammer on, pull off. This last bit is 14 of the third string, 12 of 2, 14, 3, 12 of 3, and then 11. Giving us kind of a little Dorian flavor here. After that, we're going to go back to the 15th fret of the second string, and then do 3 bends again, coming back and going to the 12th fret of that same string. Then little Dorian run here. 15, 14, 12 on the first string, same thing on the second string. You're going to do that twice. And then 14, 13, 12 of the third string, 14 of the 4, coming back to 12 of the third string. After that, he hits the open E string and lets it ring out, and that leads into a drum solo. But you can easily just go right back into the riff. Or you can go back up and bend up to this E, 15th fret of the second string. On the album, he ends with that bend up here. So you got some options. Do whatever you want to do. I'm going to play the solo slowed down. See if that helps. Let's try it at normal speed. Well, that was God of Thunder by Kiss in a nutshell. If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends. But most of all, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.